originally hitchhiked here in 1982.
How long did it take you to make that trek?
About 10 days.
About 10 days.
Yeah, nobody picks you up anymore as a hitchhiker, so I started doing that many years ago.
Yeah.
So. So back in 1769, missionaries started coming up from down south, right? Their first stop was right here, and they created the very first mission here. And then they made 20 more missions all the way from here to San Francisco. So you could travel for 25 or 30 miles, you'd get to a mission. If you wanted to start your home there, you could do that, or you could just travel on up the coast, stay at another mission. So this is long before they had Holiday Inn Parksides, right? Or Ramada Inns or anything like that. They had missions. But the very first one was right here. And if you look all the way to your right, there's a flag up there on the mountain, on the peak up there. That's where the very first mission is. All of these missions are very well maintained. They're all very active. On your right, this is the original Stuart Machado adobe house. For 200 years roughly, the Machado family lived there several generations. In 1966, the city of San Diego bought that house from the Machado family and they maintain it now. Thing, that red train trolley over on our left that comes through here all the time, you can actually take it all the way to the Tijuana border. You don't want to cross into Tijuana because it's probably going to take you about 2.5 hours to get back across the border. They'll let you drive into Mexico obviously very easily, but coming back it's going to take some time. But you can jump on the red train trolley all the way there. It's $2.50 each. 21,000 trains come out of San Diego every year. This big white building here, that's where 21 different rental cars, their rental cars, 21 different rental car agencies exist. You got a rental car, that's where it came from. Part of the bay to make it deeper so they can bring in these massive ships. So now the deepest part of the bay is 60 feet. Where did they put all the dredgings, right? We're on top of them right now. Also, they built 2 man-made islands. They built Shelter Island and they built Harbor Island. Both man-made islands from all of the dredgings that came out of the San Diego Bay. Pretty impressive feat at the time, I would think. You can also moor your sailboat right here. Depending on the length, it's going to run you between $400 and $600 a month. And you can live on your sailboat right there. I've actually considered it more than a couple times because there are so many sailboats for sale. If you know where to look in San Diego, you can get a beautiful 32-foot Catalina. You've got yourself a sailboat, right? That you can't get rid of. So if you may have heard me talk about 8 years ago I was here, I got my commercial lobster license. What I did was probably walk up to 35 boats. I said I'll work for free for a couple days. One guy said, I'll tell you what, be at the pier tomorrow at 5 a.m., which is this pier right here on our right. The season hadn't started. We had to go through 720 lobster pots. The middle group over there, as far as monetary speaking goes, but it's worth a lot to me. He gave me $1,500 for those first 21 days, and he also paid for my license, which was $387. And to this day, he's a good friend of mine. All right, guys, the big white Berkeley on your right, see that big white ferry? That was instrumental in 1906. In San Francisco, the earthquake hit. That boat was there, and for 3 straight days, they ran all these people out of San Francisco to Oakland. They didn't know what to do. It's been here since 1973, though. This big wooden sailboat right here, the ship on our right, that's the boat they used in the movie Master and Commander with Russell Crowe. All right, this is our Maritime Museum stop. Played here a whole lot. On your right, that is the USS Midway, that great big ship. Over 1,000 feet long. You can actually tour that boat. You can walk on there and do the whole tour of the Midway. The anchor chain alone is about 2,000 feet long. Every plane up there and every helicopter up there landed up there when it was in service. It was actually named after the Battle of Midway in 1942. It served in Vietnam, and it also served in Desert Storm. Been here for about the last 20 years. My old commercial lobster boat is right over there as well. Those are all commercial boats over there on the right. Meaning they work for a living. Our next stop is going to be Seaport Village. On your right, this building right here, this is the original location of the San Diego Police Department. They actually have one of the original cells in there, so you can actually go in and get a selfie in a cell.
I have a friend that would love that.
Something else that's kind of cool. If you're the type of person that would like a glass of wine or a beer, go over here to the Hyatt at about 5 o'clock tonight, get on the elevator and go to the 42nd floor. There's a bar up there. You can go up there and see a very unique view of the entire city of San Diego from the 42nd floor. I would highly recommend it.
The Hyatt? No, not the Hyatt. Oh, that's the Hyatt. Yeah. Okay.
So Seaport Village here, 14 acres, lots of one-of-a-kind unique stores, restaurants. There's a store here that just sells kites. That's all they sell. This is also where we do some of the beginnings of our seal tours. So we're going to pull past this seal tour on our left. We're going to pull down and pull around and park right in front of it right here. So that will be our Seaport Village stop. So just hang with me. Please remain seated. If you look over to your left, you'll see another one of our trolleys, that white one, that's used for weddings and parties, all kinds of stuff. Today they're down here using it to train, though. The new drivers are training. ships that they're working on. The San Diego shipyard is right on our left. White ship out there, blue and white, that'll wait till tonight. It'll come in the bay and it'll offload. The bay right now is too busy with all the sailboats and jet skis and everything, so it'll stay out there till tonight, and then it'll come in here and offload in the city. It's quite a sight to be standing there though. They're massive. And they are so quiet, they sneak right by. If you're not watching, you wouldn't even hear it. Coronado Beach, ranked top 10 in the country right there.
Can we go there now, please? Pretty please.
We're gonna get out of here.
We'll stay here. Honestly, volleyball.
Here's a cool story. There was a man that lived here and he had a tractor and he was retired. So every day he would come down here and push all this sand you see on the right, all these green sand dunes. If you look really close, you can see it spells Coronado all the way down. There's the O and the G all the way down. Has anybody ever watched the TV show Dateline?
Yes.
Remember the one about the Spreckles Mansion?
Yes.
That's the Spreckles Mansion right there on the left.
I just said yesterday.
And that's all I can tell you about that.
I just said
It
yesterday.
makes you sound very interesting.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've heard that once. I'm so excited.
Well, there's the Hotel del Coronado, now 790 rooms. 11 different U.S. presidents have stayed here. They filmed lots of movies here. Probably the most famous movie was Something Like It Hot with Tony Curtis and Marilyn Monroe. Remember that movie? Wasn't a municipal productions here. As it turns out, they built the theater on the exact same plane as the planes coming into San Diego, right? So when there were theater productions going on and planes were coming in, what they would do is when a plane was approaching, somebody sitting on the top row of seats at the Starlight Theater would hold up a red light. In other words, stop the production, a plane is coming in, we're not going to be able to hear it. The plane would fly over, they would hold up a green light saying, okay, start the theater production back again. Imagine what that sounded like. That's actually a true story.
Wow.
That would have been one of the things you would have done, right? You would have started to try and appeal to the entire country, in the entire world, right? So 33 different cottages right now. I think they're building 3 more. Every one of those cottages has to tell you the country where they are from. So you've got the House of Israel, the House of Hungary, the House of Spain, the House of Mexico, on and on and on. Pretty cool thing. On the weekends you can walk through there and somebody who is from that country will tell you about their country. There's the House of Spain right there. They're supposed to tell you where they're from right on the front somewhere. And then you go inside and it shows you furnishings from that country and how their homes are. There's the House of Mexico right there. On your right is the Spreckles Oregon Pavilion. John D. Spreckles gave this area to the city of San Diego way back in the day. He had one requirement. He said, if I give you all of this, I'm going to put this great big organ back there. So there's a massive organ behind that big garage door there. He said, the one requirement I have is that you have to have a free concert here every Sunday from 2 till 4 into perpetuity. So they use that stage for everything, but every Sunday they have to have a free concert there, an organ concert. That's the Japanese Friendship Garden right there. All the cherry blossoms finished blooming about 4 weeks ago. That was fantastic. If you've got your brochure in your hand, on the cover you see the California Tower. That's it over here on the left. We're going to go right beside it. It's 190 feet tall. Directly in front of us is the San Diego Museum of Art. Look at the carvings in stone there. That's what's known as a lost art right there. I'm going to show you some of the most famous stone carvings here in a minute. They're actually at the base of the California Tower. Yeah, to see this place on the weekends. 1,440 acres. More than a couple water fountains all the way down to your right. You'll see another water fountain way down there. So the next stone carvings I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you a story about them. There were 6 brothers, the Picarelli brothers from Rome. Those 6 brothers and their father were master carvers of stone. I'm going to show you their most famous work here in Balboa on the West Coast. They finished this in approximately 1915. They briefly went back to Rome after they completed it. This is my favorite part of the story. They came back to the United States. This time they went to Washington, D.C., and they were instrumental in the carving of the Lincoln Memorial. I just love that story because I've seen the Lincoln Memorial in person and I love it. Okay, so here's their stuff here.
Oh, wow.
All done with nothing but chisels and hammers. Can you imagine? If ever there were a lost art, that might be it. Directly in front of us is the Cabrillo Bridge, 450 feet 20 feet tall. It's rumored that every U.S. president in the last 100 years has gone over this bridge. If you look to your right at the end of these trees right here, you'll see some blue gondolas over there. Those are the gondolas that are in the San Diego Zoo. So you can go to the zoo, you get tired of walking, get on the gondola and ride it all the way through the zoo and back. It comes free with the admission. At the end of the bridge on your right, you're going to see the San Diego Lawn Bowling Society. I have yet to lawn bowl, but I might have to try it. On your left, that's Nate's dog park. There was a guy named Nate that lived here. He would spend a lot of his free time, and he came down here and he cleared all this area on your left. You can come over here on a weekend, on Saturday, and you'll see easily 100 dogs in there. They're living their best life for sure. Lots of dog parks in San Diego. That said, when this park was completed, all the cats in San Diego, they weren't happy about that, you can imagine. They had had enough. They got together and they had one question. Who let the dogs out? All right. Who let the dogs out? Okay, all right, I'll stop. Who let the dogs out? I'll stop. All right. Okay, look to your left. That's a statue of Kate Sessions right there. Pretty cool, huh? Always reminds me of Mary Poppins, too. Kate Sessions responsible for all kinds of trees and flowers here that are not native to San Diego. Named after John Bazzaloni. He originally went into the United States Army for 4 years. He got out, and then he eventually went into the Marines, and he was the first recipient of the Medal of Honor. He also was the recipient of the Navy Cross. He died in battle at the age of 29. John Bazzaloni. This is the area where Frank Sinatra used to hang out, the original Rat Pack, remember that? Yeah. Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop. The original Rat Pack. Coming up on your right, we're going to go by the El Campo Santo Cemetery. This is the second oldest cemetery in all of California, established in 1859. You want to see what 150 years of weather can do to a cemetery, and they still maintain the cemetery, but you can kind of see what 150 years have done to a cemetery. On your right, the El Campo Santo Cemetery right there. As we come around the corner, on your left is going to be the Coyote Café right there. Pretty famous place. One of the women that works here, her photo is on one of our trolleys. These women that stand here in the corners on both ends, all they do is make fresh tortillas all day long. There's one of them right there. And then at the end here, always busy here. El Campo Santo, and now the Cafe Coyote. On your right, there's the Whaley house. Supposedly hundreds of sightings of ghosts. You're killing me.
I expect it to be
Alright, I could be wrong. Alright, so when we get here to Old Town, I have to be the first one off. I'm more inspired to get off first. I hope you guys had a good afternoon. If you haven't finished your tour, I'll show you right where to jump on another trolley right in front of us, and you can continue. Also, there are restrooms right there, right where we stop. I'll point those out to you if you need those. My name is John. I hope you guys had a really good time.
Helped us to better understand his life, his family, and their way of life. But what we haven't done is follow the West Indian School. The last phase of work was monitoring of construction. And monitoring construction means that you have an archaeologist on site whenever there's ground disturbance. And that allowed us to look under the foundations of buildings. And when one of the buildings was raised up, we found a well and we found a creamy dump on the back side of the lot. That was the information that we needed representing this 1880 to early 1900 time period for Father Lubeck's Indian School. These are records that aren't written anywhere. You cannot go to the books and find out what the diet was at that time, what kind of ailment they had. They're not written down. Same with the Indian School. They will tell you what it is they were going to teach. They won't tell you how to roll
Hi.
Museum.
Let's go to shade. Come on.
Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome. Let's go.
Like really walking the top of that.
Alright, if all these fall, blame it on you. Yep. 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 Oh. Oh. That was close. Okay, they're falling. Dude. They were. Let's go.